QMetry Test Management for JIRA is a plugin that is designed to address all of your QA needs from within the JIRA ecosystem and enable your teams to better collaborate as they deliver on the promise of agile test and development together. Reusability is a cornerstone of the agile methodology, and we provide a straightforward method to reuse tests as the product evolves. Collaborate from within JIRA and also using Atlassian tools such as HipChat, JIRA Capture, and Confluence to leverage systems you are already using. Reporting sheds light on coverage and provides you with actionable business intelligence to make critical decisions about the quality and readiness of their software. How is this accomplished? Let's show you. Getting started. QMetry Test Manager for JIRA is the first step in moving your test efforts closer to development and will help you work in a more agile fashion, collaborate on one single platform, and enables you to deliver visibility and traceability into all of your team's test efforts. Once QMetry has been successfully installed, you'll notice at the top menu that there's an icon for QMetry. Select QMetry and the pull-down menu will display all of the different features that are available directly from the menu. Your first steps will be to create a story, and in this example, the product that we're referring to is called Fly High. Now, for this product, the product owner wants to create the first story, and the story they want to give is for searching flights. So they'll write, as a flyer, I should be able to search flights in the summary. And they'll copy that and put that into the description to create the very first story for this product. Now that the user story is created, let's take a look at the story and decide if we're ready to add test scenarios. So you'll see here that the plugin has added a test scenario section. And when I go to add test scenarios, I know that I have many different testers working on the product, and it's likely that I might have created a similar test scenario already. So I'm going to go ahead and search for the term search. We have multiple test engineers working on the project, so I'm going to search to see if someone else has created this test scenario, and I'm going to use the term flight. Sure enough, it looks like someone has made test scenarios to cover searching. So I'll go ahead and select FLYH2, and here we are. For any one of the step units, you can see here that we have the capability of cloning a step unit. And that clone functionality is very powerful, but we should know when to use it and when not to. So in this case, as I've cloned the previous step unit, we'll see that we have a new step unit that's identical in content, and we can go ahead and make any small changes to it or large changes to reflect what we want the new step unit to be. The clone functionality is not limited to just step units. You can also use it for entire test scenarios or action steps as well. The one thing you should know about cloning is that when you clone, you break the link. So that new item is no longer linked to all of the other historically linked functions. So it breaks the ability to reuse test functions. However, if you are looking to create a new test, a new action step or step unit or scenario, and it's not identical and doesn't have those relationships, it's very fast to be able to use cloning as that method. Now let's take a look at a specific test scenario. We'll open up a new tab. Now we want to look at the associated issues with that test scenario, which essentially shows us all of the different items that it's linked to. Test scenarios could be part of stories or could be a part of test runs, and this view allows us to see those associations or link in one simple view. Now let's take another example. So far we've looked at test scenarios. How about action steps? As you can see here, we can also see the same links and associations with other test scenarios from the action step view. And what this provides, and what we hope to communicate, is that we have end-to-end traceability, no matter what type of test item we're working with. While we're here, there's one more thing we would like to highlight. All of these test items are native JIRA issues. So all of the flexibility that you have for those other issue types, such as applying labels, sprints, and JQL, can be applied to our test scenarios and our action steps and any other test item. Okay, test authoring is done. We've created action steps, test scenarios, and step units for all of our action steps. Now it's time to begin a test run. So in creating the test run, it's as simple as naming the test run, selecting the sprint. Here you can also enter versions, components, apply labels. You'll need to select the platform. And once that's done, the next important feature is for you to select the stories that are associated with this test run. You can even search or filter based on the results that come up in the initial display of those associated test steps. So now that we've named the test run and provided a platform, let's start narrowing down the scope for what we're going to test. One of the examples of a feature that we can do here is drag and drop. So all of the stories that are currently associated here will show up on the left-hand side. You can include them all in the test run and then remove out if you don't think that you want to include some of these in the test run. You can also, to try to get another view of other test items, select looking for. You can also select by stories, which is what's displaying by default, all test scenarios or unassociated test scenarios, which are those test scenarios that are not currently linked to or associated with a story. Now it's time to go ahead and create your run and start assigning testers. First of all, you can start out by providing comments on the run. And now let's go ahead and begin to assign testers. By selecting the Assign Tester, it brings up a new window that allows you to select test scenarios from the list of what's included in the scope and start selecting individual sections to then assign to individual resources or groups of resources within your team. Okay, now you've assigned testers and you want to look at the test run and begin executing tests. While you're in this view, especially if you're an individual team member, you can either see all of the test scenarios and details that are underneath every test scenario by showing all, or only show those items that are currently assigned to me as an individual. Now we can start expanding down from the test scenario level down to the action step level, all the way down to the individual step unit level. And here we can start selecting individual results. So you can select a result for one specific item, or you can bulk edit for multiple items within the step unit group. So from here, we want to point out that for all of these different items, you can associate bugs, you can write comments, and you can view the test data. For step units, test data is actually in line, but all of the other items have this icon interface that allows you to make the change at the appropriate level. Though each test run, when created, acts as a snapshot of the current scope state, but we're agile. As stories, epics, test scenarios, and action steps are being changed, the test run can be rebuilt to reflect the current changes made to all of the items within the scope of the run. You see how we execute tests. Now let's view some test runs and see what type of flexible features we have once we've executed a test. One example we should start with is the ability to clone test runs. As we talked about at the very beginning, when you created your test run, you selected one single platform. If you have multiple platforms to test against, but want to run the same set of tests or a slightly modified series of tests, the best thing to do is to clone the test run for each platform. Now let's take a look at the test report. At the top, you can see that there's help on how to view the report. On the right-hand side, there's a legend. You can filter the report by project. Once you've decided you have the right data set, you can deep dive any item displayed, such as a specific issue, which will take you to the issue page. These reports are highly customizable. They can be viewed in tabular format or in chart. You can refine the report by time, sprint, version, label, component, and platform. This is our most valuable report. The test coverage report will help you make informed decisions based on a complete view. This report tells you test or quality coverage based on your stories. For every story that's covered, it tells you what has been tested and breaks down the results by status. When evaluating a release for promotion, there's no better report that can provide you with a complete picture of the product's readiness. The productivity report. This will help you manage your effort and overall productivity. Just like all of the other reports, this can be filtered and shown in different formats based on how you want to see the data displayed. Traceability report. This report shows the link between requirements and defects, starting from the project level all the way to an individual step unit. The relationships can be displayed in a kind of mind map view or a tabular view as well. Getting help for QMetry is as simple as selecting Help from the QMetry plugin menu. Here you can view all of the different topics where we cover how to use the product, how to collaborate using the product, and how to get the most out of the reports that we have at your fingertips. Collaborating with your teams using QMetry plugin for JIRA is well integrated with several Atlassian suite products. We integrate with HipChat. Using HipChat, test scenarios can be brought in as an object and discussed as a group or with a group or a team. All QMetry Test Manager for JIRA objects can be discussed in this way. With Confluence, you can utilize existing content from within Confluence to create test scenarios directly. Using JIRA Capture, you can utilize this powerful tool to quickly create test scenarios where visual reference and collaboration help expedite the testing process.